Welcome to your first live. And
Yeah, thank you.
yes, so I was telling everyone that we will be talking about your journey, firstly, to understand how you got here, as in to decide, okay, this is the interest area I want to go deeper into. So I'll just kind of give a gist of what all we'll discuss in this live, and then we'll take it one by one. So first we'll see, okay, how did you arrive at this point? Okay, this is the area I want to go deeper into and build professional expertise. Then we will look at what you're doing currently as part of your CoVersity journey, where you're at campus with the cohort, and then maybe we'll talk about how you kind of are working on your first client project. How did you get all that? So a lot of interesting conversations to hear from you. So with the first one, Aarush, share a bit about what has your journey been like? Were you into schooling? Were you homeschooling? What all you did as part of open learning? Give a context to all the history of your learning so far.
Yeah, sure. So it all started off from I was originally in normal based learning, but it was like my mother found out that I was actually like kind of not able to pick up the speed that they were doing learning in English. So that's why like there was some inconvenience between me and the school and the teachers. So yeah, and then she was like kind of fed up because I was getting bruises on my knuckles because of like this happening. Although yeah, that kind of happened. But then we changed to another school where I was like completely fine. So it was like I guess I was like first standard, I'm pretty sure. So yeah, that time around, I was into another school. I was enjoying it till around three to fourth grade, and it had to shut down because of few reasons. So I left there. So then I found this like new thing called as homeschooling.
Mm-hmm.
So originally, so I started homeschooling around like 2016. So yeah, I was just learning through my home, and yeah, it just started off like that. And then till 2018, it was like almost the same, nothing as different. It was just that I was learning through home, and it was like not very productive.
Okay.
So yeah, then I thought, okay, I want to actually meet someone in physical this format, and I want to go somewhere and do something. So then, 2019, I joined another place where they did basically homeschooling, but kind of online and homeschool. So, sorry, homeschool and physical center. So it was like that. So around till 2022, last to last year, it was there. So 2022, I decided, okay, I wanna do something like good, some serious work. I
Hmm.
wanna like have more people around me and things like that. And that school was also kind of like getting a bit overwhelming for me. So I decided, no, I'll not continue. So then that is where I joined Aarohi. So the last 2 years, I would say, was the most productive years of my life. I did quite a few projects on like different kinds of things. I was just exploring till last Jan. I was just exploring on different kinds of fields that are there and things. So then, yeah, I think I came to the conclusion of video editing because before all of this happened, like me and my friends used to just generally take few like little clips and make them into videos or like things like that. We tried different things, like there were apps back then where we could erase stuff. So like yeah, basically photography and videography we used to do like that. So then slowly also I picked up when I was making videos and stuff and things. So I think December I joined one
Pause,
called
pause,
as
pause,
Workathon. Right.
pause, pause. Yeah. So, some very interesting things you've mentioned, and I would want to kind of touch upon it a bit more before we kind of get into your CoVersity journey. You mentioned like somewhere some aspects of schooling or whatever were a bit overwhelming for you. So, can you, tell people who are watching us any specific areas where you were kind of finding it very challenging or not comfortable to kind of let your learning progress. So what were those areas where you felt it was a bit overwhelming for you?
Right. So I would start with the subjects. So in homeschooling, like the place that I went to, so it became overwhelming because they also started with textbooks. So it was not normal textbooks. It was NCRT, which is like uh, way more easier, but I found it a little difficult. But then, like, since I had no touch up or practice, like, almost all these years, like, I was in fourth grade when I left, and then now I joined at sixth grade to another school. So I had lost all kind of like reading, writing habits, and all of these things. And so I starting found it a bit overwhelming because of the subjects and like how the format generally ran because like it was like I had to even though I went to the physical center, it would be like I had classes online because there was like a
Mm.
online and an offline branch. So it was like little overwhelming for me, all the screen, and then it was like getting a bit boring. Like once it was like I already knew something about science, like let's say Ambra and Penumbra. So I already knew about that. But then I got told again to like revise and do it again and again and again. So that I also found overwhelming, even though I told that, okay, I already know these things basically. But yeah, I don't want to continue in this. Can I have something else? It was like little jumbled up for them, I guess. So yeah, so we couldn't really work it out that way, and I was very bad at maths, and that kind of was like a triggering point because it would be like push on me to like kind of do maths more than any other subject, and like I liked science because of how things were going in that class, but I was forced to attend maths classes instead of the science classes. So I felt like, isn't homeschooling about like also having choices of your own and stuff like that? So that was mainly the triggering point since I also wanted few choices, no, if not all, a few choices at least I needed. Like let's say I want to attend science more than maths.
Mm.
So yeah, that was definitely the breaking point where I didn't have many options.
Right,
So
right.
yeah,
Yeah. Yeah, that's a very interesting point that you've brought out, uh, especially for parents who may be watching this later. If you have a child who is kind of not really interested in studying things, like similar to Aarosh, who is more his mechanism to learn is by doing things, by actually creating stuff. He doesn't like reading, writing, exams, studies. That's not the way he likes to learn. So definitely there are many possibilities for children who are not interested in studies or who find certain subjects very difficult. There is no need to push them, to kind of build more understanding of those subjects. There are many other ways in which they can make the learning more joyful, more productive for them, and in a way which can also kind of design their professional journey, which is what we are going to understand from Arush's journey, in the sense when he said math was difficult. Now, a lot of times there is a argument that you need addition, subtraction. That we won't count as mathematical skills. Those are life skills that you need to function, which is essential. But to kind of push children to go deeper in all the subjects, maybe that's something that we need to kind of consider if a child is not enjoying or not able to kind of take it forward in that sense. So thank you, Aarush, for sharing very important points through your journey. Now we'll go to the exciting part. Now, you said you kind of hated doing these subjects, revision, studies, the kind of writing things and to learn about a particular subject. Now, maybe talk about the shift that happened when you started your open learning journey. Now, how are you there's no curriculum that someone is telling you to kind of follow. There are no subjects that you need to kind of study each day. What was the feeling like when you got exposed to open learning?
Well, so I actually felt kind of alive, you can say. So, like now I didn't, let's say, have rules to follow. So I could like actually go ahead and do what I like wanted to do. So I'll give a good example. So I always wanted to build a tree house. Like whatever it took, I wanted to build a tree house. I tried multiple times. I think like there was an incident where we fought with the neighbors that I was climbing the trees and trying to make a something and things. So I really wanted to make a tree house. So once I came here and found out, okay, we can do anything here, but with responsibility. So then
Mm.
I directly like went to the project and I said I want to make a tree house. So, like here, of course, people said, yes, sure, let's go, let's make a treehouse. So then two to three people joined me, and then we made a treehouse, although it's right now not standing anymore, since it was just a basic model. But like that was some kind of a joy, like to do something which I really wanted to do. So I felt, okay, this is something that I want to do always. So this happened
Mm.
when I came for the experience weeks. I was doing the project in experience week. So then I said, no way I'm letting go of this chance. I need to do this because like I felt very, very alive that 1 week and I like really wanted to come back. So yeah, that's how I started my open learning journey. So I came back, I had many choices. I like started with picking few projects. I did few projects. Let's say I did the treehouse project. I did farming for few months. I did
Mhm.
a chicken coop for the chickens which lived here. I recently did one project. It's called as a solenoid project, so it basically dispenses water.
Mhm.
So we did that, and I also joined a this thing called Workathon, which was by CoVersity. So I think that was the point where like I realized that I think it's enough exploring for me. I think I want to do something like deeply. So
Mm.
then I was like, okay, so let's go through with what is my interest? What are my interests? So then I had a few, like I had electronics to do, I had construction to do, like which I really like to do, and I had video making and editing because so I also had one more which is quite interesting, which was to make things out of cardboard. So that was also something that was, yeah, that was kind of part of my life. But yeah, I think I chose video editing and making since I thought, okay, I think I have more chances here. I just got that feeling. So then
Yeah.
I said, yeah, go ahead with the project on video making and editing.
Okay.
So before
Bharat,
you
one
know,
second. One second.
yeah,
Yes. So somewhere now we've, kind of spoken about your whole homeschooling journey and then the transition to open learning. One very interesting point has come out where you mentioned about freedom with responsibility, right?
Yes, yes.
So I want to kind of go a bit more in that. And also, a lot of the times parents have a worry that how will the child learn? Now suddenly there are no subjects, there's no curriculum that anyone is giving you. But maybe share a bit more about how by doing things in various fields, right, from farming, gardening, creating the chicken coop, or building a tree house, what was the learning like, right? Like you're not sitting down and studying about a chicken coop or how to create a construct a tree house. Of course, there's a lot of research that you may do through various resources, which is what open learning is about. You can choose the way you want to learn. You design your style of doing. You design your way of learning, how much to learn, from whom to learn, what to learn. But what's the learning like? Can you share a bit about that?
Yeah, sure. So there's different aspects. So when I did the treehouse, I needed to know about angles because if the treehouse was like this, then of course we'll not be able to stand on it. So I used angles for that. Let's say like, okay, this has to be little more above. I used some kind of a measuring tool, which like basically there's a bubble which pops up in the middle and things like that.
Mm.
So I used things like that. For measurements of, okay, for science, let's say I did farming. So in farming, I got a good explanation about how the water cycle works. Since like so I question myself on, okay, I water every day to these plants, but then
Mm.
what happens to this water? Why like the water evaporates like just magic? So then I
Mm.
got to know about the water cycle. So like this, slowly, I got to know. There are few also things like so there is this one, let's say, place in campus which is called Gynamid.
Mm.
So that is no, sorry, Gemini. I'm pretty sure. Yeah, Gemini. So I didn't know that's another word for sun. So like then I got to know, okay, it's another word for sun. And initially I pronounced it as Gemini, but then I got to know another by another person. It's called Gemini. So there I also got a bit of grammar. And
Mm. Mm.
now I'm connecting with clients and stuff and things like this. I obviously need to be professional and like I want to not make like mistakes in words and things. So I use like little tools and I also get to know those words. So let's say I'm being serious. I didn't know the word like the word which. So I used to write WITCH. So now whenever I write it, everyone's like, why? What are you trying to convey here? So then I got to know it's WHICH. So then I like kind of also wondered why English is so weird. But at the same time, I got to know that like this is how things work. So I
Right.
think definitely there's a lot of learning. Let's say in video editing, I also have another thing where I need to do the position right. So I need to rotate the video, I need to put the position right. If it's let's say 9 by 16 and I need to turn it into a 16 by 9, how do I do that? So yeah, definitely I think there's a lot of learning in like just doing things. So yeah.
Right. Yeah, and very interestingly, you mentioned like for someone who was not very interested in spellings and words and maybe English was not something you focus so much on. You were keen on science, but suddenly when there is a need for a child uh, in their doing, then they automatically or very naturally, not automatically, very naturally pick things up that they need for their learning. Like Aarosh, who is kind of now getting into client projects and has a solid need to communicate, is building a lot of communication skills, be it writing, be it speaking, or so suddenly spellings. grammar, everything becomes very important, and you're focused on those areas. So the idea is, when the learning is contextual, it's practical, it's relevant to the child, they automatically or they naturally drive themselves to kind of pick up skills that's needed for their doing. Okay, Arush, now we will kind of talk a bit about what you're doing in video editing. What's the one is, maybe let's talk about the project, but also how did we reach, to getting this project? What all did we do to kind of get there? So maybe start from the start.
Just before that, can I just share one
Mm,
thought, quick thought on what happened here?
sure.
Yeah. So when I was also staying at home for like a few years, I also joined few like social programs which were happening called as Safe Soil and Kaveri Calling. So basically, that was a event launched by Conscious Planet. So I wanted to join that because I felt that is somewhere connected to me since I was more into farming at that time. So then there I learned a lot of communication skills because those projects involved me with talking with like let's say Grand Panchayat officials to tell them that this is required.
Mm-hmm.
And I think that was definitely one point where I had to use my communication skills, or when I had to talk to like genuine farmers who wanted to like grow trees and stuff so that they can revive rivers and things. So like that, it was like those projects gave me a lot of skill of communication, like getting to know each other, empathy and things.
Mm-hmm.
So yeah, that definitely helped me. So
Sure,
yeah,
sure.
I think Kitika's point is yes, good point.
Okay, so can we now talk about your whole journey into video editing, what all you've been doing, and how did you get about to get your project at 13 years old? How did you do that?
Right. So it originally started off with me having zero clarity on like, okay, where should I take the first step? So then I think that is where the cohorts came in. So they gave me a lot of ideas like, okay, so you can start with a project. So then you can go to a daily workout and then these things. So then I started like just looking for projects. I made a video for finding projects. I made a list of 52 people who need videos, who like whose businesses need videos, so I can make videos for them. So I also did that so that like I get more clarity. So then yeah, things started off between me and Flexible IR.
Mm,
So basically, there was one person who like we met in a event that happened here in Aarohi campus. So he runs a business called Flexible IR. So basically, they sell cyber incident playbooks and things. So I was kind of curious to know about their company, and he was like kind of curious to know about me and CoVersity and how like what is happening about my video editing and things. So I think we gradually got together for a bit, and then we realized actually he needs videos and I need to learn about cyber incident these things. So we said, okay, I will make videos for you. In exchange, you can teach me like a bit of what cyber safety is and things like that. And then after that, yeah, right now I'm just like with him and making like starting to make videos for them so that yeah, they can publish and market and things. So I think that was one place where I worked. But before that, before my client project, I also had another project with CoVersity. So I got a set of videos that I could edit. This was like after the workathon. So I got a few videos that I could start to edit and things. So I think this is where like the main part started, where like I was doing something about video editing seriously.
Mm.
So yeah, that's my client project, and yeah, other project.
Sure, sure. So, okay, I think we are kind of coming to the end of our conversation. Two final questions. First question being, what do you want to tell to teenagers who are, kind of maybe, let's say, not sure which interest to go further into, or if they're okay, clear maybe of one or two, how can they make a decision of going deeper in a particular interest? How can, so what's your advice, maybe like in a one or two line, what would you tell teens who are a bit clueless about their career?
Right. So I was also in this situation once, since I had like three domains to choose from. But what I did was I just chose one of them which I really wanted to pursue. So how I chose was like, let's say it was quite a kind of equal between construction and video making and editing. So then I took up like little project on this and little project on this.
Hmm.
So I did both and saw which one I liked more. So I came to the conclusion, okay, I like video editing more. So
Hmm.
I started doing video editing. So then I enjoyed, so I started doing. So, but I also knew in the back of my head that it is also possible that I can switch my domains. So I think that is the most like needed part, that you have to know
Hmm.
that you have the flexibility to change domains if you want to.
Sure.
So I think that is the main point, right? Yeah.
Does that flexibility help you to be at ease while you're exploring one domain? You're not stressed that, I'm stuck to this for the rest of my life. Can you share a bit about that?
Yeah, so I think I chose video making and editing, but now if I'm like starting to feel overwhelming, or if I'm trying to like go switch to another domain, always I have like electronics I can do construction, I can do like many more things. I can do, let's say, skating as a
Hmm.
professional domain, and things like that. So whatever interests you like I have, since I said that I explored quite a few interests for a few months and then like I came to a conclusion. So I think, yeah, in the back of my head, I have that I can deep dive in any of these, so it's fine. So then I can be at ease that, okay, even if this is not happening as I wanted it to happen, I can always switch. So yeah.
Absolutely. So that's the kind of flexibility or ease that Coversity brings into to empower youth really, or teens, because this is the age we feel that teenagers should be exploring different domains very deeply, and by deeply I mean doing industry specific work to kind of decide whether this is what they want to kind of go further into, or maybe if that's not the case, that should be okay. They should be having the choice to maybe switch to another domain and explore that, because all the learning that you get by this doing industry specific work kind of carries forward. You use it as you kind of go to another domain if that's the case. So that's the very big highlight I would suggest, where this journey, a CoVersity journey, allows you to explore domains deeply, but also have the choice to switch to something else. All right, final question, Aarush, for you is,
Yeah.
a lot of the times parents think, this is great. Aarush is doing all this, taking this responsibility, talking about freedom, responsibility. He understands all this. Maybe my child can't do this. I don't think they are, they are spending time on their phones. They're not very serious about their career, or they're not disciplined. So as a teen, I want to know your perspective. Do you think every teenager is capable of leading their life, or let's say, or leading their professional journey? So life is a big, maybe a bigger thing. Can they lead their professional journey? Can every teen do this? What's your thought as a teenager?
I think each one of us have a good and a bad side both. So I know another teen who is also deep diving in gaming. So he makes gaming content and he like streams it across multiple things. And now he is also like getting few views. And he's like right now 14. So I
Hmm.
am pretty sure by like let's say 18 he will have more subscribers and viewers and things. So I'm just giving the example of him because we always have something good and bad. So it may be bad that he might be watching too much screen time, but it's also good that he's doing something that he likes and he's actually like going forward and it's a professional journey. So yeah, I think that's definitely what is in his case. So I think every teen has that capability to like go ahead. I think they just need a bit of time, and if you can, you can just talk to them. Say that, okay, so like right now you are doing this, that is totally fine. So what do you want to become when you grow up? So then, like, it brings up a question to them. So you can be totally flexible. So you can, like, even if they say gaming, you can be fine with that. Okay. So because it's definitely a professional journey. I know it's maybe a lot for parents, I'm pretty sure, to accept whatever their domain is. But I think if they really want to do it, they'll somehow make it successful. So
Okay.
yeah.
Okay, that's interesting to just kind of summarize what Aarush is pointing towards is each teenager or each teen is capable of leading their professional journey. Maybe what they need is an environment, some support systems of, peers, of guides who can kind of nudge them and guide them in the right direction from time to time. But when they are given the charge of uh, or the ownership of their professional journey, starting with professional journey, a lot of things transform in the way they take charge of their life as well. So, with that note, maybe we can pause the conversation for now. Let us
Yes.
know if there's anything that you would like us to talk on with respect to the cohort or CoVersity journey or a professional journey, or maybe if you're a teen who needs guidance on your career, yes, let us know in the comments and we will take that forward. Thank you, Aarush, for sharing so many things from your journey, and I'm sure a lot of the teens and their families, parents will get a lot of valuable insights from your sharing. Thank you.
Yeah. Thank you. Thank you, Kritika, for
Bye.
having me. Yeah. Thank
Bye.
you. Yeah. Bye.